my shoulder is connecting to the fascia in the palm of his hand. And then I take it with my mind, and there's a sensation that goes with it all the way down to his feet, and then I can easily move him. Yeah. So at first when he was pressing down on me, I'm compressing, I'm allowing it to compress my spine. It's going into my bones, and it's ineffective. And I use my mind to create the space between the discs. And that's what he felt, a much more solid resistance, would you say, even though I was using a lot less muscle. Hello everybody. Today I'm going to answer one of my viewers' questions. They observed or watched my video on tensegrity and song, and it was related to the spine. But the question was, how do we relate that to the rest of our body? And could I please make a video demonstrating the effective tensegrity to create song throughout the body? So that's what this video is about, and anytime you have a question that you'd like me to answer, please feel free to leave a comment. Well, this is a tensegrity model, and the more that structure opens, actually the more resilient and the more strong the structure is. Conversely, if I tense a muscle, then that closes the fascia network and weakens and loosens it, and now you can see that we have lost structure. So one of the Tai Chi secrets is that we want to be able to open up our joints, create more space between the joints, and even in between the intermeshing of our fascia. And the more that we can train to open up and yet relax the muscles, then the more we are reliant on this much more effective internal structure of using tensegrity rather than trying to use muscle. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to demonstrate is using tensegrity of the spine by creating that space and songing my spine and having an effect on him. You see, it already had an effect on him. It improved his posture with just my intention. Just don't underestimate what your mind can do. All right, so the first thing I'm going to have him do is just press down, straight down on my shoulders. Okay, so you're just going to try to keep me from standing up. So I'm going to squat down, and he's going to press on my shoulders straight down into the line of force, and don't let me stand up. Okay, you ready? Mm-hmm. Don't let me stand up.
All right.
Go. All right, so this is like impossible. I'm not going to be able to do this because, okay, relax. And so I'm compressing and I'm fighting that with muscle, and the muscle shortening is actually creating less tensegrity and less access to my fascia, So now in this instance, we're going to do exactly the same thing, okay? And he's going to press down, and I'm going to open up my joints and create, with my mind and my intention, more space in between the spine, thus getting more tensegrity and song. Okay, go ahead, press down. So all I'm going to do is just open my spine. And what do you feel? Now, if I wanted to, I can easily come up. So what did you feel that time?
It was more, the resistance was more solid than before.
And I was working less. So at first when he was pressing down on me, I'm compressing, I'm allowing it to compress my spine. It's going into my bones, and it's ineffective. And I try to impose my muscle structure on top of this, and it doesn't work. The second example, I songed my spine. I simply used my mind to create the space between the discs. And that's what he felt, a much more solid resistance, would you say, even though I was using a lot less muscle. Using tensegrity and songing of the spine. Now let's see what happens when I song the entire body. And so now it's like more of a balloon effect where I'm imagining that mesh throughout my body. And I may activate the spine and my knees and such first, opening up those. But then I'm just going to pretend that I'm inflating out into that web of fascia and see if there's a difference. Okay. So he's pushing harder, actually.
I'm going back on my heels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so I was a little slow on that because I was a little surprised about how much pressure he was putting on me. So first I did the spine and then I inflated. And that's when you sort of saw him go like this. So when you do when you song effectively, it tends to distort their posture. Go ahead and push me back. If he just pushes me back, go ahead and push back. I would tilt my whole body. But if he were, I haven't trained him in this yet, but if he were to do song, then my posture distorts. That's how you know the difference. So that's what we saw in him when he started to go back when I applied the song. Yeah. All right, go ahead and push down to let me. So first I'm going to song my joints. And now I'm going to connect to the fascia under his feet. And there he goes. I love it. What'd you feel? How did that?
I was tilting back.
Yes. Yeah. My shoulder is connecting to the fascia in the palm of his hand. And then I take it with my mind, and there's a sensation that goes with it all the way down to his feet. And then I can easily move him. Yeah. So for the drill, here's what I want you to practice for your drill. First drill is that you squat down. You're not really in a Tai Chi stance. It doesn't matter at this point. And you're just going to be force on force. So this is the way that you don't want to do it, but you want to practice this so you feel the difference. Okay, go ahead and push down. And so if I try to push up, really I'm trying as hard as I can, and I can't do it. Okay? Then the second drill you do is the same thing. Ask the partner to apply the same amount of pressure, and go ahead. And then you just open up and song your spine. Yeah, you can breathe. All right, so he didn't move necessarily, but what happens is my sensation, my workload got a lot easier, and he started working a lot harder. Mm-hmm. Did you feel like the second time was harder?
Yes.
Then the third time, I want you to feel as though you're expanding like a balloon into this mesh. So you squat, they press down. Then you can song your spine first, and then inflate your whole body. And then they'll start to
fall.
Yeah, fall. So those are your 3 drills. Now, if you want to add a little extra and you want to try to do the fascia, you doing okay?
Okay.
Then I'm going to try to connect the fascia on my shoulder to the fascia of his palm. And then I'm going to connect that all the way down to his feet and add everything else. Okay? So this is another layer that you can add to this exercise. So come down, he's pushing. I'm going to song my spine. I'm going to inflate. Now I'm going to try to catch his fascia down to his feet. And there he goes. Were you going?
Yeah.
Okay.
Back on my heels.
Now I am going with it a little bit. Some of you might see that I'm going with it. But the difference is if he's pushing hard and I start to muscle it, okay, go ahead and push down hard. And I start to try to muscle it and I go forward, he's not going to go because it's muscle on muscle. But if I open up, push, and now I'm just super comfortable. I could just stay here all day. I song, and then I'm going to get into his fascia, and there he goes. And then I can take him if I really wanted to take him somewhere.
And I even stepped back so I'd lean onto you.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
So he was creating more force.
I cheated.
through that. Yeah, you cheated.
Tired of getting beat by a little person.
Well, thank you. All right. Well, thanks for helping me out. We'll catch you next time.
Okay.